Loneliness is not a new phenomenon, but it is much more prevalent nowadays. Hello, welcome to this week's Wild Spirits News. My name is Sibylle, and I help women between 40 and 60 to do lots of what they love and to find their unique life purpose. If that sounds interesting, check out my website, wildspiritscoaching.com. Today's subject is passions and isolation. Let's talk about loneliness. One phenomenon of our time is loneliness. And I'll grant you that it's more prevalent in younger people because people of my generation, the people that I work with, we still grew up without the internet and we are more strongly anchored, I believe, in the offline world, in the so-called offline world. However, the world has changed for us as much as anyone else. And even if you're an introvert who cherishes their alone time, you're a human being and human beings need community. Your mission today is to learn how to prevent or combat loneliness and thrive. The background to this is called the new loneliness. Now, there is so much to say on this subject that I've written down a list of key points, so I won't still talk this evening. The first point is researchers and psychologists are sounding the alarm. The numbers of people around in all age groups, by the way, who feel lonely, who report that they feel lonely, has risen dramatically in recent years, especially since the pandemic. The second point is that loneliness might not be immediately visible at the first glance. For example, there's a lot of people who are married and you'd think, well, of course they're not lonely, they have their spouse. However, one other person in your life is not enough to always combat loneliness. And we're not even talking about relationships where the spouses don't have much left to say to each other. Even in a good relationship, just one person can't ever be everything to someone. We're human beings, we're social beings, and we need community. Community is, by the way, also one of the most important factors in longevity. There are very solid studies that have been conducted regarding some communities worldwide, countries, areas, where a lot of people live to a very high age and live to a healthy high age. And they are as diverse as they come. So it was hard to find any common ground why, and a reason why. It wasn't just nutrition because they all ate differently. What was it? And the one thing that they found out that all these communities have in common is the community, that it is a strong community, that people are involved in a community and supported by it. And like I said, even if you're not part of the internet generation, the world has changed. We're busier than ever and it has got harder to create community. Although it is still possible nowadays, and I'm going to link you in the description a wonderful TED Talk by Barbara Sher on exactly that topic. The task is called Passions Again, really? That's not really a task, but I had to write it because obviously I'm the passions coach and everybody expects me to talk about passions all the time. But that is not the reason why I'm talking about it now. I mean, passions, hobbies, and interests can also be a very lonely pursuit. It depends on the passion, of course, but a lot of the time we're just doing our thing for ourselves at home or wherever it is. But it is also a fact that passions and hobbies and interests are also one of the best ways of connecting with other people. When I, years ago, came out of a high-functioning depression that I had had for years and where I had isolated myself, when I recovered from that, I found myself fairly lonely. And the way I got out of that was by diving into my passions. And this is the way that I started reaching out to others and meeting others through my passions. And it took a bit of time, but I made lifelong friends that are still in my life now, many years later. And I cherish them and I wouldn't want to do without them. So do it, reach out. Again, this might take some time. It might not happen overnight, but look for ways that you can create or join a community around your passion. You can start with an online group. Look for gatherings, look for clubs, look for weekend workshops. retreats, things like that. Stick with it and don't expect miracles, but over time you will get to know people who already have something very big in common with you. So you'll make friends quickly that way. And like I said, they tend to stick with you for life. And that gives you a whole other quality of life. It enriches your passions, which is nice too. And you will never be in danger of being lonely. That brings me to the last point, which is, as usual, let me know. Have you ever felt lonely? Is this not at all a thing for you? Are you still in a community? Do you have a passions community? I'd love to know. So leave me a comment below the video or reply to the email that you got the link to the video with. And like I said, if my work interests you, check out my website, wildspiritscoaching.com. You can also sign up for the Wild Spirits community news there. That's 100% spam-free, 1 email per week. And I always include really important information that is useful and that you don't get to see anywhere else. So it's actually really worth it signing up for that. I'd love to have you. Have a beautiful week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.